Amigos, otra fiesta de Miami. Estamos con tres de los actores de la nueva película Warfare. Hello, hello. Welcome to Miami.
Thank you very much.
Listen, last night at the screening, it was amazing, man. It was so amazing, so emotional. And I'm telling everybody, you guys have to see this movie in the theater because the sound is incredible.
The sound's amazing. It's kind of typical of an Alex Garland film. This is co-directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza, and yeah, sound contributes massively to the sort of immersive experience. There's also no score, so it's really interesting, different to a lot of films, particularly on this subject matter for that reason. But so worth going to see it in theaters for all of that like diegetic sound, the gunfire and everything else.
Yeah, those explosions, man. I was right next to the speaker.
Oh,
It was, yeah, I know. It was.
how are your ears?
I cannot really hear you right now, but you know, I can hear you from here.
Good.
The sound carries you like through the movie, you know, like because you feel. I'm an empath, and I was really feeling everything. Like, what can you tell us about that?
Well, I mean, you know, these characters are going through an incredibly intense and traumatic experience. So we, as actors, were just trying to kind of carry that as best as possible without, again, over-dramatizing it or anything like that. One of the big things that Ray in particular kind of, enforced upon us in terms of direction was this idea of the fact that these SEALs are trained for this and these men were trained for this. So some of them would react more dramatically than others and more intensely than others. But for the most part, you know, a lot of these guys were still under control.
For you guys, you know, doing this, experiencing this, what was that like for you? You know, did it like give you some type of like, you know, anxiety, or how do you guys handle that?
I mean, yeah, there's immense pressure, immense responsibility, and, you know, I think it just came to all of us talking to, if we could talk to our counterpart who we play, speaking with them as much as possible, sort of, you know, we'll never understand, but trying to understand and depict that the most realistic way, right? How does shock affect you? How does concussions affect you? How does, you know, all of the emotional sort of things. And you know, we had a 2-week boot camp, so that really kind of blended itself with hearing about their experience and then sort of learning all of our drills and sort of our tactics, right?
Is that where y'all met for the first time, or some of y'all already knew each other before?
Will and I had met once or twice before, and Michael and I met in prep for this. You know, we met to chat it through and foreshadow what was to come.
Because I feel like there's like a brotherhood now through like the whole cast between you guys. You know, I see photos and stuff, and you can see like you guys like basically like bonded doing this.
Yeah, I think the boot camp was particularly like formative for us all and kind of created this like unique camaraderie, you know, that exists.
In terms of the sound and all that stuff, do you guys like actually in real life hear this? Like, you know, like how was that, like the explosion stuff?
Well, a lot of the explosions were real explosions. You know, they were just explosions on much smaller scales and much more safe environment in a sense. So, you know, they were loud. They were really loud, and anything that they couldn't replicate in terms of by actually making a real noise. And we had speakers that were kind of dotted all around the set that they could play, you know, the show of force, so the aircrafts flying by. They could play dogs barking, they could play gunfire, they could play, you know, people shouting, they could play anything. So, you know, that was really useful for us as well. It was so immersive, you know, as a film set.
Yeah. And you guys got to meet the people that you played, right?
Most of us got to meet the individuals that we represented. Yeah, correct.
Okay. And have you talked to them? Has everybody seen the movie already, or?
I think nearly all of the guys have seen the film for the most part, yeah.
Kid, I follow your career for quite some time now, and I think it was amazing to see you play a character that I feel like, you know, completely different from what we're used to, and then see you carrying a gun. And I think it's like, you know, when you have like such a strong character like Nick in Heartstopper, you know, sometimes people like, but I completely forgot about him, and I just saw you doing this, and it's like completely in this character, handling that gun, you know what I mean? How challenging was that for you, you know, to portray him and, you know, get into this character?
I think that, you know, if as an actor, my goal is always to try and do a wide variety of stuff. So I'm glad that you felt that way. But you know, they both posed their own challenges. But you know, Tommy as a character was maybe there was slightly deeper to dig, you know, because there was less on the page, and generally for for all of the characters. There wasn't so much on the page. It was we had to do some of the work to be able to kind of develop those stories in our minds.
Wait, you guys have like an inside joke or something going on? Because yesterday, you guys were looking at each other and laughing at the Q&A. What's going on? You gotta tell me. What's going on? Why are you guys... What's going on? Tell me the joke.
So this is the thing about getting as close as we've got, is we struggle to be serious all the time, and we mix in, should we say, moments of levity when we're talking about serious subject matters.
I was like, did I say something that touched a memory or a point or something?
I've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I just looked at Michael Gandolfini and just thought, you know what?
Yeah,
Okay,
made you laugh.
so there is inside jokes, and I'm telling you, you guys are like brothers now.
But that's actually a real thing. You know, I think that our ability to, you know, have levity both on and off set. You know, when we were filming, we had a lot of fun, and it was obviously an incredibly intense film set at times, but we were able to diffuse that and also kind of infuse it with the love between, you know, all of these young men.
He wants to laugh so hard, by the way. He keeps looking at you. He's like,
I'm struggling.
Hey everybody, my name is Will Poulter.
I'm Michael Gandolfini.
And I'm Kit Connor.
And we are inviting you to come and check out Warfare, available in theatres April 11th.